target audience for this book would be both parents and educators. This book goes into great detail about how to be a good teacher, how to validate children's feelings, self-discipline, and relationships between the parents and the teachers. It is not based off of research, it is merely just a teacher's point of view on how to deal with children in the classroom to make them feel wanted and appreciated, and how to help them succeed in life. How to Talk So Kids Can Learn is presented in a fun way. It is easy to follow and enjoyable to read with fun cartoons. The author's style is formal. It has complete sentences and also goes into detail more than informal. I think it would be appropriate for the intended audience. It has clear examples, interesting stories, as well as great points regarding a child's needs and wants. Some ideas in the book relate to the topics I am studying, such as feelings and needs, problem solving, and how to produce an inclusive classroom. The chapter that stuck out to me most was Chapter 3, The Pitfalls of Punishment, Alternatives that Lead to Self-Discipline. I chose this chapter because as a child I grew up hearing, "You'll do as I say," or "Keep crying and I'll give you something to cry about." Don't get me wrong, I grew up in a very loving household, but I was to listen to my parents when asked to do something. In this book, the authors go into detail about how punishing a child gets you nowhere. It does more bad than good. Faber and Maslish mentioned that in the book that when a child is punished physically, the paddle in the principal's office will change your mind about fighting. He learns it's okay for you to hit me, but not okay for me to hit until I'm the one in charge. This is in this chapter I learned to always take a child's feelings into consideration. Punishment isn't always effective and may leave the child's feelings helpless and angry, like they can't do anything right. Instead of getting mad and punishing, you can express your disapproval and give them some suggestions on how to be better next time. I can use this with children by instead of getting mad and threatening them with a punishment, I can help them come up with a solution and offer a choice or help for the next time they act up or misbehave. For example, little Johnny gets mad over a game that he lost. He comes into the classroom yelling and name-calling to the kid he lost to. I take Johnny to the side and ask him what's going on, acknowledge how angry and upset he is, and when he calms down, I could help him think about what else he could do next time he felt angry and upset. It will have such a better outcome than punishing him for feeling upset or angry. Part 3. The chapter I chose for this part is How to Free a Child Who is Locked in a Role. I chose this chapter because not all children are the way they seem they are, and maybe they continue to act that way because their educators and parents are telling them every day about how to stop acting a certain way. Once you're told something over and over, you start to believe it. The authors go into detail about how saying something over and over can have a huge impact on a child's life. They start to believe the things that are said to them and start to not put in any effort at all. They talk about unlabeling students and to paint a more positive picture of the students and to imagine changes taking place in favor for those students. From this chapter, I learned to attempt to take the children out of their locked roles and encourage them to do better, to use sentences like, "I'm proud of you for bringing in your homework on time," or "I've noticed you were on time 4 times this week. Keep up the good work." These are all positive ways to improve child's outlooks on things. For example, a child comes into class every day late with no valid excuses. Instead of saying, "Why are you always late? Don't you know what time class starts by now?" Detention after class for you. You could say, "Hi Johnny, I noticed you're coming in late every day. Is there something going on that you would like to talk about? Can I help you with anything? Maybe we can figure out a better way for you to get to school on time." Which then allows the child to vent and feel safe in a non-judgmental place. How to Talk So Kids Can Learn is such an interesting book to read. It was fun and enjoyable, and honestly, I couldn't put it down. It made me realize that sometimes children just need someone to listen to, someone who actually tries to understand them and wants the best for them and doesn't judge them on their faults, but tries to improve them. This book caught my interest right away, and it's the kind of book you know you're getting good quality teaching and listening experience from. The accuracy in this book is immaculate. There are so many good ideas, suggestions, and solutions to most behavioral problems in kids, as well as ways to validate kids' wants, needs, and feelings. Everything is formatted in a way that is easy to follow and fun. The author's lack of favoritism towards one side or the other leads whoever the reader is in the path of different scenarios that may happen if you reacted a certain way. This book is thorough in every chapter. It starts from what it was to what it has become and how to get the best possible outcome from your students. Using unique learning and communication strategies, it shows parents and teachers how to help children handle everyday problems. Throughout this book, there were many things that I had to disagree. There weren't many things I had to disagree with, as this whole book comes to make perfect sense and have wonderful group workshops that can help anyone that is dealing with a troubled child. Honestly, this book has affected me in the best way possible. There are so many strategies that I didn't think of using or even crossed my mind. Along with well written points on each topic, I do believe some ideas I had are not changed and pushed out of the way for these new innovative ideas I have read and learned, like how to communicate with children in ways that doesn't disregard their feelings or needs, but to help them find the words and actions to deal with things that upset them. How to Talk So Kids Can Learn relates to my personal agenda in so many ways. I enjoy learning new ways to communicate with children in a way that won't belittle them or make them feel like their feelings and needs are not relevant. I know myself that I was quick to say something like, you will do it because I said so. Whereas this book has made me realize that saying those things does not benefit the child at all. If anything, it puts them in the mindset of, oh well, once I'm in charge, people will do as I say. I do think the author achieved their purpose, as the purpose was to learn new ways so that kids can learn. I do agree with most of the author's arguments and conclusions as they reflect on what teachers and parents usually do and say to their children, and what should be said to a child that needs validation and just that little bit of push to do better. I would recommend this book to every parent and teacher that I know. The chapters in this book go over exactly what every adult should do. It is interesting with good points and cartoons to better show you how to react in the correct way to a child.